Right, one of the funny things I thought, because I didn't even realise this myself till your team won, because as you said, the joke is until the end of the final, no one believed your team was going to win. Like, it wasn't the sexy storyline. So the funny thing is, if you remember, what everyone got horny for is that classic storyline from TI, which is like, who's going to be the first one to win too? So it was all like, oh my God, Poppy. Or it was maybe like, wow, Zai hasn't won a TI yet. It was like, that was the one for Liquid, obviously. And there was like these competing storylines.
Matsu would have had two as well.
Yes, there you go. But it's only when you won that people realised, wait, he's backdoored it because he did it as a player and a coach. But actually, how he wins the first two, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, I think Heen would have done if Secret had won two, right?
Yes.
Like he would have had two as a coach, I guess. But yeah, I think it was less people. Like I think a lot of analysts and people maybe favored us to win the tournament after the top four, but like I don't think a lot of people were cheering for us because our storyline wasn't just as good. But yeah, that was. I don't know. Even now, like I feel like the amount of media that has happened is less for this TI than past ones. And I'm not too sure it's like that's to do with like our storyline was less interesting or like whatever it is, but I feel like it's less. Maybe it's just a bias.
I mean, without hating, I'll just say as an outsider who could be hating on anyway. Like, as you said earlier, this TI, I'll just be real. It didn't feel as epic like as a tournament as some of the past ones, especially not the ones pre-COVID and all that jazz. Those ones really felt like huge,
Yeah, I think I've heard that quite a bit. I've even heard like some of friends who usually watch TI every year, they didn't even know TI was happening, which is like sort of shocking, right?
That's
and
wild,
like there was lower viewership, and the tournament was lower prize pool, and there's a lot of factors for that. I don't know. Like maybe I think there's also some conscious decisions by Valve to scale back TI a bit because at the end of the day, they're not they're not like Riot, who has a full tournament division, right? Like they're just a software engineering company, and they just, I want to throw in this tournament. It looks fun. Let's do it. And it grew into something that became like maybe more of like, hey, this is not what we want to actually do. So I think they consciously decided to scale it back. But yeah, it feels a bit less fanfare than other TIs for sure.
All the same, though, what is the significance to you personally for your career? I mean, if you think about it, like we started the interview where you were arguably at your player peak as of your career, and then you went through all the hard times, you switched over to coaching. What's the significance to win a second TI for you personally?
It's nice. I don't know. Like, I guess it validates a lot of ideas in Dota. Like, it's nice to like think about your ideas and be like, I mean, I don't know if they're correct for sure, but you have like more data points saying that like, I really liked how this turned out. And for me as a coach, like it was a lot about like watching the players grow. Like you have a lot of sense of pride that you don't have as a player, right? Like as a player, you're like, like I did this, blah, blah, blah. Like some ego thing. But like as a coach, like you can watch your players grow and become these things. And it's nice to watch that, I guess.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.